What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're going to talk about ChangYu. We're going to talk about his gameplay. We're going to talk about whether or not you should level this character up, depending on your needs in the game. Now, we do have a couple new game modes that showed up in the game recently, which are the Book of Toro, which is a typical game mode that we've had before. You know, similar game modes like this have shown up in previous events. If you guys want me to talk about that, I can, but I really think it's pretty straightforward for most players. And then we have the Bizy Chamber, which is a battle. I will be talking about this later on. You guys can see I've already got the back score on the first battle, but yeah, I'm actually going to be saving this for another live stream that I'm going to be doing to try to push these other babbles, man. But ChangYu, is he a good character? Is he really worth pulling for? Well, you can acquire this character from your events here in the, I believe it's Ancient Archive. Yeah, you can actually get him from the Ancient Archive. I've already collected him, so it isn't going to show up right here. Well, actually it does. You can actually get him from here, which is pretty awesome, guys. Completely free character, an A rank ice damage dealing character. And he is 80% ice, 20% physical, and he is a tank, right? And really the main purpose of this character for most players is that he's going to be mainly a support. Now, there are going to be players out there that are going to use this character as a DPS character because maybe they don't have Lucia Plume, and he is there's only two ice characters in the game, which is him and Lucia Plume. Now, as far as his skills, you know, his red orbs, launches 2 quick attacks, 4 to deal, and a certain percentage of physical damage based on numbers of orb pings. Upon a 3 ping, ChangYu will charge up energy for a short while to launch a heavy blow after 2 quick attacks. And then his yellow orb dashes towards the target and throws an upper kick to knock it back, dealing a certain percentage of damage. And on a 3 ping, it's ice damage. So remember, when you do a 3 ping with yellow, you're always going to be doing ice damage. And with his blue orbs, he gets a certain damage number of physical damage increase, ice damage instead on a 3 ping. So again, with the yellow and the blue orbs, you're going to be doing ice damage on a 3 ping to all enemies within a 4 meter based on the number of orbs ping. The palm strike will leave crystal ice mirror on the ground, which is going to be this little field that's going to be on the ground based on the normal orbs ping. And then movement speed and ice resistance, which is really important, of the enemies inside the crystal ice mirror. So as long as they're in that field, they're going to get a decrease by 30% and 5% for 8 seconds. So using your blue orbs is going to help your damage quite a bit. And then duration will refresh as long as the enemies are inside the crystal ice mirror. A new crystal ice mirror will replace the old one. His basic attacks, guys, there's nothing really major here. Now, his signature is actually really important for the character because this is really his bread and butter. And this is kind of the thing about the character that it sucks, but is also good for him. Like, if you're using him as a DPS character, this is actually pretty cool. But if you're using him as a support, this isn't going to matter because you're never going to use it, right? But his signature move, ChangYu can enter the selfless state when he reaches 60, right? In this state, removes all single orbs, and no more orbs will be generated. So he's going to have a little gray orb on the side. He's going to be the first character of his kind that's going to have this kind of thing. We're going to get more characters, I believe, in the future that's going to have this. But essentially, he's going to be able he's just going to have one orb available, and you can actually click on it and use it. We'll talk about how to in here in a little bit. Except the follow-up orb, and restores 5 energy for each orb removed. Defense and ice damage increased by 20%. And this is a big reason why his signature is really so important for him as far as being either a sub DPS or a DPS character if you're going to use him in that respective manner. The follow-up orb will now be grayed out. When tapped, consumes 15 energy to throw a sonic blast. Deals a certain percentage of ice damage. Tap it repeatedly after the 3rd and 4th hit of B attack to perform flowing whirlpool. So whenever you do your basic attacks and you attack, your gray orb is going to start highlighting. Whenever that thing highlights, you want to hit that skill, you want to hit that orb, and you want to start tapping it repeatedly so you can do flowing whirlpool. And that's when you can really do a lot of damage, guys. Well, a lot of damage for him, right? That's really how you play him. But the thing that's kind of a bummer about the skill is that he's kind of sitting in front of them, and he's kind of there for a long time. It really gives an open window for the enemies to actually do damage to you, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's a bit annoying. Like, I wish he had some kind of invincibility, but then he'd probably be broken. Ice damage in total during the super armor is granted. So he also gets super armor whenever he's doing this, which is nice. He doesn't get thrown out of the skill at all. But at the same time, he can take a lot of damage. Triggering Matrix and successful dodge recover 100% dodge gauge. So when in the Matrix, ice damage increases by 20%. So again, guys, when your signature is up and you got that bar meter at the bottom, Whenever you go into the Matrix, you're going to do a lot more ice damage because of this buff right here, and also because of this buff right here. I mean, both of those things really buff his damage up as far as doing damage, right? Tap the signature move button again, which will consume 60 energy. The Gray Owl will follow up with orbs in return for random single orbs. So kind of similar to the Lucia Plume. Whenever you hit the signature button, he'll go back into where he just uses regular orbs, or you can just leave the signature meter up at all times. His QT, this is kind of a thing that's kind of a bummer about the character. He does like 5 hits whenever he does his QT. He just drops in, does a slam, he does 5 hits. And unfortunately, because he does 5 hits, it doesn't proc the Zwain set, which is the ice damage dealing set. He would be so much better if it would proc that set. So whenever you're putting memories on this guy, I mean, if you're just using him as a support, it's really best just to put a Da Vinci on him with 2 Einsteinas. That's going to be the best way to go if you're going to be using him for just a support character, because he really doesn't offer a lot as a QT. I mean, obviously, whenever you unlock S rank, you'll get this tank passive. And then his attacks lower the target's extra damage reduction by, a 20% or more if you got the extra resonance. And that's a good thing. And by the way, when you're doing resonance, you want to have this tank passive up so you can actually increase the extra damage reduction. And this is useful for him as a DPS or as a support. But I mean, really as a support, I mean, there's no way to really level up his damage as a support beyond S rank. So if you're just using him as a support, just make him an S rank character. You don't need to go any further unless you really love the character, unless you want to bump him up. But if you're using him as a sub DPS, then it's going to be a little bit different story, because then you can actually, bump up his damage quite a bit. So his core passive at the start of battle gains a gray out follow-up orb. That's going to be a gray area, a gray orb all the way in the right corner. Cannot be tapped or pinged. It will light up a 3 ping. Tap it before the different follow-up skill based on color or point. Guys, I'm not going to read all this, but what it essentially is whenever you do a 3 ping of whatever color orb, your gray orb is going to light up, and he's going to do a special move whenever you hit that gray orb, and it tells you everything that he's going to do right here. It's actually pretty cool. And then his leadership, all party members' defense increased by 15%. And then whenever you take him to double S, his passive ice damage and defense increased by 50% when in selfless state. So whenever he's doing his signature move, right, you got to use him as your damage dealer in order to really use this. That's when this passive is really going to help him. So again, if you're just going to be using him for support, just make him S rank. If you want to use him as a sub DPS or a DPS character, then you would use this. But I mean, guys, if you have Lucia Plume and you're using this character as sub DPS, you'll find that you're actually going to do more damage just keeping Lucia Plume in there all the time, right? I mean, I'm not really sure how it's going to be when he's at triple S plus, but I'm pretty sure you're just still going to do more damage with her because she's just so strong, right? But if you're using him as a DPS or a sub DPS, then obviously, leveling up is the way to go. He's an A rank character. You can always level him up through the interlude, which is an advantage of A rank characters. And then triple S, the ice resistance, debuff of enemies inside the crystal ice mirror increases by 10%. So whenever he does his blue orbs, he gets another 10% increased ice resistance, which is actually pretty awesome. And Air Cracking Palm will increase ice damage by 10%. So again, that's just something that's self-buffing him. And then when he's triple S plus, when enemies are hit by follow-up skills, Flowing Whirlpool, their ice resistance decreased by 5% for 8 seconds, and ChangYu's ice damage increases by 20% for 8 seconds. So you can see how, the triple S plus, triple S, double S is really awesome for him as far as increasing his damage, but not so awesome if you're just using him as a support character. Now, when it comes to his memories, guys, you really want to use the Zwain set here. If you're using him as a sub DPS character with 2 Einstein memories, you want to use these memories right here for him, 2 of these Einstein memories, to really get the best damage out of him if you're using him as a sub DPS or a DPS character. If not, then you want to be using the Da Vinci set with 2 Einsteinas once again. I'll just slap these on just so we're clear, right? Because I know sometimes I speak pretty fast. Or you're just going to use this as a support, which is what I would recommend if you're not planning on taking him past S rank. Now, his weapon, I just got a 4-star weapon for him, guys, that after entrance, extra bonus damage increase by 5%, or 5 seconds for 8 seconds, or 5 seconds for 8%. And his weapon is, it's really not the greatest, right? It's okay, but his 5-star weapon, which you'll always be able to get in the game, after a dodge, extra bonus damage increases by 8% for 4 seconds, right? Nothing really too special. And then the Baji, Ice damage increased by 15%. So the signature weapon is going to be the best weapon. But guys, I wouldn't recommend doing this because one, he's going to get replaced in just a few months, right? 3 to 4 months, he's going to get replaced by S Chrome, right? An S rank tank ice character that's actually just a whole lot stronger, a whole lot better than ChangYu. That's just the truth of it. I mean, if you don't plan on pulling for S Chrome and you want to spend black cards on the signature weapon to make ChangYu as strong as possible, by all means, go for it. But it's not something I would really recommend because, again, guys, he's going to get replaced by S Chrome in the future. And if you're using him as a support character, I mean, the weapon will help, but it's not going to make some massive, insane difference for him. So I'll show you guys a little something here and kind of show you how he plays a little bit. Let's slap old ChangYu in here. Where you at, bro? There you are. Now, here's the thing that's kind of wacky. Let me go ahead and show you guys something here, just so you can see this. All right, and we'll put ChangYu in here. Here we go. And I'll show you guys. I got that. Well, I don't have it, but the Zwain set, the ice damage dealing set. This is really the bummer about him. Is like whenever you use him, you know, as a QTE character, right? I'll go ahead and bring him in and look at him. I mean, just like he doesn't do near enough hits to proc that Zwain set, and that's a real bummer, guys. It really is. I wish he did. He'd be a lot stronger if he did do that. But literally earlier, what we was talking about is whenever you do a 3-ping of any color. So let's see here. There we go. There we go. So we'll do a 3-ping yellow, right? Okay, I'll do a 3-ping yellow first. Or we'll do a 3-ping or 1-ping yellow. Right? He just does a little kick. Right? Now, if you do a 3-ping, you see the little orb light up. If I would have hit it right away, we would have done a different move. You got to hit it immediately. So we'll do a 3-ping blue. There we go, right? And he does a special attack once you hit this little icon after a 3-ping. You'll do that a couple times, and he'll just build up his signature super fast. Now, whenever you do your signature move, this is what's really cool about the character if you use him as a DPS character. So if you notice, his meter here is just staying full. It's not going down, right? You know, when you do your basics, it doesn't go down. Now, whenever you do your basic attacks, this thing is going to light up. And whenever it does light up, you're going to hit this skill. And when you do, every time you do this, your QTEs are going to be available. This is actually pretty cool for adding a lot of damage if you're using him as a sub DPS character. So watch what I do. So I'll go ahead and do basic attack. It lights up. And then I can bring in my QTEs. Now I didn't do that properly. Let's do that again, okay? And you notice whenever I did that, we did start breaking down that bar. So we're going to try to do it again and do it right. So what you're trying to do is you want to do your basic attacks. You want to get this to light up. And then once this lights up, start tapping it, guys. Start tapping them really fast. You're going to tap it like 3 or 4 times. And then bring in your QTEs as you're tapping this skill right here. Okay? Just like that. See that? See all those hits he does? That's pretty nice. And if you do have the Zwain set and you're using him as a sub DPS character, he's going to proc the Zwain set. He's going to do a lot more ice damage whenever you're doing that. And that's the idea whenever you're playing with this character. And then, like right now, we don't have much of a meter left. We can hit our signature move right here. And we can bring out our orbs again, right? So it's blue orb, you know, there's that field, right, for the ice resistance. Here's a yellow orb, he does the kick. Here's a red orb, right? I mean, nothing really too fancy or too spectacular. Okay, so I'll just kind of build up his skills again. Let's get up here so we can actually do a hit. Okay, so I'll do a red. There we go. Nice, nice. Do a yellow. Okay, so we'll do our signature again. All right, all of his orbs disappear, and all you have is this one right here. So again, all we're going to do is our basic attack, and then we're going to see this highlighted, and we're going to start tapping it, and then tap it multiple times once you see it highlighted. See that? And how I brought in my QTEs and all that damage he does whenever you do that. He's not the strongest character in the game by any means, guys, But I mean, he's a fun character, but it's just the thing I don't like is that, whenever you're doing your signature, he's just stationary in front of the opponents. It's kind of like he can really take a lot of damage if you keep him just right in front of somebody. So it'd been nice if like the skill would have moved around a little bit. It also would have been nice if as you leveled him up, maybe you would have got more ice damage reduction or something like that. But I mean, Kuro Games had it planned where they were going to bring in S Chrome in the future. And obviously, they're not going to make ChangYu super, super strong just because of that reason. But he is a free character. And again, guys, if you're using him as a support, go ahead and just take him to S rank and stop. If you're going to use him as a sub DPS or DPS, max him out, go all out, have good fun with him. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave you guys with a little run that I did with him. So let me know what y'all think about ChangYu. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.
になりたいのは誰かしら？本当？私も行きます。あとは任せとけ。私も行きます。私が一匹加えてあげる。形のない形、隙のない隙。になりたいのは誰かしら？私も行きます。あとは任せとけ。私が一匹加えてあげる。失敗の中で勝利を目指し、危険な状況の中で穏便を追求する。